All right, guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Tom Hobbs. If you are new here, I'm a body dysmorphia mentor. I'll leave a link down below to my Instagram where my entire story is, my entire journey with body dysmorphia over 15 years, the challenges I face and how I've actually been able to overcome it to get into the best shape of my life, the best mental shape of my life, to attracting my dream partner, and now be helping and coaching others to do the same within my coaching and mentoring business. And in today's video, I want to share something with you that if I had known this, my body dysmorphia would not have lasted for as long as it did. Because perhaps like you, I just thought that it was purely a physical thing. That if I lost weight, I'd be happy. If I added muscle, I'd be happy. If I looked better, everything would be fixed. And to an extent, that is somewhat true. But if you don't understand that body dysmorphia in and of itself is simply a symptom of our core narrative that we play out every single day, right? And in the work I do, I give people their training program and their nutrition and their cardio, and we do all of the things, all of the external things to fix the external problems. But before we can do that, we need to understand what's going on in here. And we also need to understand that that body dysmorphia that you're experiencing, the insecurity, the self-doubt, the inferiority complex, the comparison, the putting other people on a pedestal, the believing that your dream woman would never be attracted to you, all of these different things are all a result of a story that we have lived by that we are simply unaware of, right? And this can often be formed in the early years, in our childhood. For me, it was probably in sort of year 4, year 5. So what's that, like 9, 10, 11, 12 year old kind of range for me, where I always saw myself as the bigger kid, right? I had gynecomastia, which is basically excess fat around your chest, or man boobs as it's called. And that made me think I was different. I would compare myself to the other guys in my class when we went swimming, when we played sport, right? And it just confirmed to me that I was different, and I got really self-conscious. That then, made its way into my basketball days, my high school days. When I started at the gym, it got, even worse because I was sort of doing something about it, but my comparison had never been higher. And all of this stuff continued to feed into this narrative that I was different, that I was never going to be good enough, that my body was never going to fill me with confidence, right? That women were not going to be attracted to me because I was different to all the other guys that I would see all around me. So this story that I was living by, which we then take on as our truth, right? It's this unchangeable truth that this is how we live. And if we're living by that truth, we are asking our brain and our mind every single day to find evidence to support that. But that's how our brain operates. So I was living in a reality that had evidence absolutely everywhere to support the fact that I was that guy with body dysmorphia, who wasn't confident in his own skin, who hated to take his shirt off, who never, thought he was, never trusted his own voice to speak up in public, right? He lacked really owning his authenticity because he thought he just needed to be quiet because he was never going to be good enough. And if he did speak up, people were going to laugh at him or judge him. And it was just this vicious cycle, right? But I would see and find evidence of this everywhere because that, at my deepest level, at the root cause of everything that I am, that was my story. That was my ultimate truth. Right? And my body dysmorphia and never being able to feel good in my body, never being able to be consistent, my self-sabotage, all of these things would simply happen to help me confirm that truth to myself. And when I realized this, when I actually understood how our brain works, right, which is something I take my clients through, it's such an important thing that I think everyone should learn. Once I started to realize that, I could start to see that my body dysmorphia was actually created by me. I had conditioned myself into believing that this was just who I was. And I was unconsciously asking the universe, asking the world around me, asking the people I would interact with, the people on social media, to confirm to me that I was the guy that was never good enough, that could never feel confident in his own body. And when I started to change that narrative, when I made the decision, because that's ultimately what a belief system is, right? We have these limiting beliefs and they are decisions. I'd made the decision that I was never going to be the confident guy that would never attract my dream partner, that would never look like the guys on social media or the magazine covers and all these other things. That was a decision I had made about myself, right? So I was just seeing a reality to reflect that. But once I could start to shift that, I could start to see through the lie that was, right? Because I am enough. As you are watching this, we are all enough. We all are worthy of feeling confident, of attracting our perfect dream woman, right? Of having the body, of being strong and confident and healthy and fit. We are all worthy of these things, but all of those things would go against that truth that I held, which was that I wasn't good enough. And a man that wasn't good enough would not have these things. So I would basically push away the evidence, because all the evidence was there that that could be me, but my brain and the way I'd set it up had deemed that to be irrelevant. So I was only focusing on the negatives. I was only focusing on the pessimistic side of things. And that's what I was attracting in. But when I started to shift that story, rewire my mind, make that decision that I was no longer going to be this guy, because I couldn't go another day like this. If I wanted to be the husband, the father, the leader, the coach, the son, the friend, I couldn't have body dysmorphia anymore. That wasn't going to work. And I was done trying all of these surface level solutions, right? I shifted that. I was able to then really focus on my body, because I was able to be consistent and motivated, because I knew that I was good enough. I knew I was worthy. I knew I could achieve these things, because I could see other people having everything I want. So that meant, as I learned, that if I could see it in someone else, that meant it was possible for me, because my reality is simply a projection of my own mind. And that has allowed me to now be sitting here talking to you about it in the best shape of my life. Again, all of my transformations are on my Instagram. There's a couple of videos on my page where I talk about it more as well. And I realized how simple it actually was. This body dysmorphia that we're told is incurable is simply a symptom of a limiting belief and story that we have held to be our truth, that we can't actually see because our ego is suppressing it, right? There is pain associated with the change. Because if I'm not this version of me, then who am I? That's scary. That's unknown. And as humans, we don't like the unknown. We like certainty. We like to know what's going on. So the reason and I'm going to start to wrap this video up, but I'm really now just so motivated to help other men out of these situations, because I understand what it's like. I understand how frustrating it can be to feel like that this is just how it's going to be forever. And you've tried everything. You've tried the coaches. You've tried going hard at your body, right? Maybe you've tried going too far the other way into the mental stuff, always trying to heal, find the trauma, be body positive, right? But that doesn't work either. But trust me, when you understand what your core narrative is, right, and you change that, you learn how to actually control and rewire your mind. You connect to your spiritual side of things. So for me, that's God. To other people I work with, it's a higher power, universe, whatever works with you, because that to me is where your self-worth comes from. And when you know that, and when you express and lean into your spiritual side, you will see that so damn fast. And then you're able to really commit to your body. You're able to become that fucking weapon in the gym, right? You're able to eat quality food to nourish your body so you can actually see it change. Right? You're able to start running or fighting or whatever else that you want to do physically, because you can, right? And as you do all these things, you step up and become the man that is then capable of attracting in your dream partner, which is exactly how it has played out for me, right? So brother, like, you don't have to struggle with this anymore. There is a way out. There is a solution. I would encourage you to, not take my word for it on just this video. Like, go watch some of my other videos, jump over to my Instagram, read through some of my posts, jump on my email list down below, or reach out to me. Let's have a conversation, right? I love jumping on phone calls with people and just hearing your story, right? No obligations. Just tell me where you're at. Like, I understand it. And I promise you, things can change so much faster than you even realize. I'm currently working with a guy. He's 53. He's from the States. He's from, Indiana in the States. And he has shifted his whole body dysmorphia world, this inferiority complex that he lived by, in the first 4 weeks. He's completely shifted his story. He's receiving compliments left, right, and center. He's now into the best shape of his life, hitting PBs. He's feeling more open that he's able to meet his fucking person. And he's just living with this entirely new energy, because he's not living by that old story that he lived with for 53 years. And in 4 weeks, working together, going through the processes that I have, and just simply me holding him to a higher standard, he's been able to move through that, right? So if I can, if he can, then you watching this absolutely can. Reach out. Would love to hear from you. Otherwise, yeah, I appreciate you tuning into this video. I hope it's been helpful. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.